If you want to change your life, you've got to change your life. That sounds like a play on words, doesn't it? It may be, but it does make you think. I had to read it a couple of times when I first saw it. Hello, this is Bob Proctor. For the past 35 years, I've been helping people change their lives. Some of the changes that I have witnessed have been extraordinary. Changing our lives can be fun, and I have found it's not very difficult when you know how. It can also be very rewarding. I suppose knowing how is the key. Before I proceed with the knowing how part, let me ask you the big question. What would you change if your annual income suddenly became your monthly income? Think about that question for a moment. Mentally observe the type of thinking you immediately got involved in as a result of that question, because it could have run anywhere from immediate rejection to a very positive mental response. The type of thinking the question provoked is important because it very likely is your conditioned mind that is responding. Did you immediately think, that's ridiculous, it could never happen, or, wow, that would really be great? Whatever your response was, leave it for now, and we'll come back to the big question a little later. What you're about to hear is not something I learned in an Ivy League school, nor is it some strange occult secret. No, what I am about to share with you is the result of 40 years of intense research and practical experience. What I'm going to suggest you do, I have done, and I am presently doing. Permit me to begin by saying, being happy, healthy, and wealthy is a normal state of life for you and me and everyone else who wants it and whose mind is open to a few simple suggestions. You might be asking yourself, if it's so simple, why are there so few people enjoying the good life? That's a fair question, and I believe it was answered many years ago in the book Man's Search for Himself, authored by Rollo May, a distinguished psychiatrist. He said the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it is conformity. People acting like everyone else, without knowing why, without knowing where they are going. It takes courage to begin living the good life. You have to step away from the masses. You must begin to express your uniqueness as a human being and begin to utilize your God-given potential. Consider this for a moment. We are living right in the midst of the golden years, a time we've been working toward for thousands of years, the richest time in all of human history. There are only two sources to which we can refer to find out about our potential: science and theology. Both of these areas clearly indicate that we do have infinite potential. The wisest among us will not even guess at what you and I are capable of accomplishing. And yet, after living for 50 or 60 years, 90% of the population have not made it financially. Now, you might be thinking, money's not everything. It definitely is not the most important thing in life, and you're right. However, money affects every area of our lives that we choose to think is important. If we were to take 100 people who all start even at age 25, then look at what happens to the members of this group who reach the age of 65. 1 will be rich, 4 will be financially independent, 5 will still be working, 54 will be broke. As shocking as these statistics are, the actuarial department of any major financial institution will confirm their accuracy. Why? What happened to these people? Why did so few make it? What became of their dreams, their hopes, their plans? And why is there such a large disparity between what these people intended to do with their lives and what they actually accomplished? What held them back? Listen carefully. I'm going to give you the answer. They conformed. That's it. They conformed. They fell in line and followed the large group. They followed the wrong group. It seems incredible that people in such large numbers could be wrong, but they are and always have been. 90-some% of our population are controlled by old paradigms, old conditioning. They don't think. My old boss, Earl Nightingale, used to say, if the average person said what they were thinking, they would be speechless. He was right. Listen to the conversations of most people or watch their behavior. They are obviously not thinking. Most people are the product of someone else's habitual way of thinking. I was very fortunate many years ago when I met a man named Raymond Stanford. He encouraged me to dream and then begin thinking of how I could live my dreams. He told me to stop letting present results control my thinking. He said, "You have the equation backwards, Bob. You must start to control your thinking and then have your thinking control your results, rather than your results control your thinking." At the time I met him, I was spending my days doing work I did not enjoy. I was most certainly struggling financially. I was earning $4,000 a year, and I owed $6,000. I was far from being happy. This man gave me a book to read and advised me to do exactly what the author suggested. Without going into detail, my world began to change and change dramatically. It has never stopped. 1 year after I met him and began following his advice, I was earning $175,000, and then I took it over $1 million a year. I gave the same book to a number of people, but their lives never changed. I soon realized it was not the book. But what was it? Why had my world changed so dramatically? I had to know, and I began to study. It took me 9 years, but I finally found what I was looking for. Seek and you will find is good advice. I actually discovered what caused my income to soar and my life to change. Although the change was easily overlooked, it was huge. I had changed my income earning strategy. What worked for me will work for you. What I'm going to suggest will work for anyone. I watched literally thousands of individuals make very positive changes in their lifestyle as they began to follow the strategy you are about to learn. As my income changed, I found I had more time to do what was important, what was really important in my life. You will be amazed at how much free time you have when you never have to think about money. This brings me to a point where I'm going to ask you to mentally step back and objectively look at money and honestly think about the areas of your life where money does play a role. The truth is, there are very few areas where money does not play a role. Now let me come back to the big question. What would you change if your annual income suddenly became your monthly income? Let your imagination fly. Permit it to soar. Dream. What would you do that's totally different from what you're presently doing? Imagine going on a vacation with a loved one, first class, all the way. Dream. Rather than reject what you're hearing as being ridiculous, stop and think. You very likely know people who are earning that amount of money, who are not as bright as you are, and I can assure you they are not lucky. Luck does not play a role in what I am talking about, regardless of how much it may appear that it does. Earning money is a subject that is misunderstood by 9 people out of 10. And I honestly think I'm being conservative in those numbers. It's probably more like 1 in 20. And as you begin to study earning money as a subject, it will become obvious why it is so misunderstood by the masses. You can go right through our educational system and learn absolutely nothing about earning money. You can, in fact, graduate from one of the most prestigious universities in the world and know next to nothing about earning money. This, along with the fact that very few parents understand money explains why there is such widespread ignorance on such an important subject. Earning money has nothing to do with age, gender, geography, formal education, intelligence, or past experience, or a host of other reasons we were raised to believe were a prerequisite to earning a lot of money. Earning money has to do with one thing: decision. You merely decide, I am going to learn how to earn money, and then being specific about knowing how much you're going to earn. You would follow exactly the same procedure as you would if you were to decide, I'm going to learn to fly an airplane. If you were deciding to become a pilot, you most certainly wouldn't be getting your instructions from one of your colleagues at work or your next-door neighbor. That is, unless they were excellent flight instructors. Approximately 96% of all the money that is earned by 1% of our population. And 99% of that group are all following exactly the same strategy. I can assure you they are not getting their advice from everyone and anyone who happens to be in their presence. You will find people who are absolutely brilliant who are broke, and others who are functionally illiterate who may be earning millions of dollars a year. At this point, it should be obvious that you're not going to learn how to multiply your income by doing what comes naturally, by doing what you've been doing in the past, or by following the example that is being offered by 96% of our population. Any kind of change causes discomfort. And if you want to change your annual income into a monthly income, that too will cause some discomfort. But keep this in mind. The discomfort you experience will be very temporary. The increased prosperity will be permanent. Isn't that nice? We're at the point now where I'm going to ask you to really tune in to what I'm explaining. There are only 3 strategies to earning money. I refer to them as M1, M2, M3. Now, M1 is the worst strategy in the world, and unfortunately, it's adhered to by 96% of our population. Old paradigms keep people locked in to this losing way of living. They are good people, but they never enjoy the good life. We are all taught to follow the M1 income earning strategy at school, at home, and we're surrounded by people who follow this strategy. M1 is where people trade their time for money. This strategy has an inherent problem. It's called saturation. You run out of time. It's almost inconceivable to think that so many people are on the wrong track. Some of them brilliant people. However, their brilliance has not stopped them from being controlled by their old paradigm. You might be wondering, who are these people? Virtually everyone you know. Doctors, lawyers, accountants, airline pilots, engineers, architects, waiters, waitresses. In fact, in today's world, doctors have to put in more time to earn less money. It's sad but true. The only way a person can accumulate money following this strategy is by compromising on virtually everything they do where money is concerned. They compromise on the car or the house they buy, the vacations they take, the clothes they buy. In fact, if you stand in either a men's or a woman's clothing store and observe what's going on, almost everyone looks at the price tag before they inspect the garment. They don't get what they want. They pick what they think they can afford. Little do they realize, if they made a decision, they could buy the whole store. Someone did. They're in it. Most of the people who follow this strategy can honestly not see a solution to many of the problems they experience where money is concerned. However, there is an answer, and I'm going to give it to you. And all you will require is the courage to break out of your old paradigm. Let's move on and take a look at M2. This is a great strategy. However, it's only followed by a very small group of people, 3% of our population. M2 is where people invest money to earn money. It's fairly obvious why just 3% of our population follow this strategy. Most people have no money to invest. Those who do follow this strategy, who are not well educated in the area and do not get good advice, frequently lose their money. For a person to become proficient with the M2 strategy, they must study it continually. Since many people who have money to invest do not choose to spend their time studying this subject, they frequently rely on the advice of experts in this field. Financial advisors should be picked with considerable care. This brings us to the strategy I stumbled on many years ago, M3. And although it is only used by 1% of our population, they earn approximately 96% of all the money that's earned. This strategy can be followed by anyone. That's the beautiful part about it. All it requires is a decision. A decision I would strongly recommend you make right now. There's one other prerequisite that goes with decision, and it is courage. You are definitely going against the crowd. You must quit worrying about what they think and focus on what you think. M3 is where you multiply your time through the efforts of others by setting up multiple sources of income. This is one of the most beautiful concepts that you will ever come across with respect to earning money. It is frequently referred to as leverage. Multiple sources of income are referred to as MSIs, and you can have as many MSIs as you choose. This is also referred to as mailbox money. With MSIs, you can be earning money right around the clock, regardless of what you're doing. You could be sleeping in Australia and earning money in America, or vice versa. This is a strategy that has been used by wealthy people dating right back to the ancient Babylonians. The individuals who follow the M3 strategy are actually aware that working is the worst way to earn money. The masses have been raised and conditioned to believe that you should go to work to earn money. If you never remember anything else, remember this. You should go to work for satisfaction. You should provide service to earn money. Here is what Napoleon Hill had to say about this. If you are one of those people who believe that hard work and honesty alone will bring riches, perish the thought. It is not true. Riches, when they come in huge quantities, are never the result of hard work. Riches come, if they come at all, in response to definite demands, based upon the application of definite principles, and not by chance or luck. Here's another interesting bit of information from the same author. The accumulation of great fortunes calls for power, and power is acquired through highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. But that knowledge does not necessarily have to be in the possession of the person who accumulates the fortune. Isn't that interesting? Think about what you've just heard. Now I believe it's time for me to ask you that big question again. What would you change if your annual income suddenly became your monthly income? Pay attention again to your mental response to that question. I'll bet it's becoming easier to accept. Your mind has been inundated with some beautiful truths over the past few moments, and when that happens, your mind becomes more receptive to positive questions. You are quite capable of turning your annual income into a monthly income. I have done it, and I have thousands of friends who have done it. Now, that's not an exaggeration. There are literally thousands. I would go so far as to say that wherever you happen to be in the world right now as you're listening to this, I have probably been there and worked with people showing them how to do what I'm sharing with you right now. Step out of your old conditioned way of living. Life is short and should be enjoyed by you. The M3 strategy is something I stumbled on many years ago. In the old economy, if you were going to follow the M3 strategy, you had to have an incredible idea and a respectable amount of money. That is not so in the new economy, and we're living in the new economy. The rules that you were raised with no longer apply. As children, we were taught, go to school, get a good education, get a job in a big company, and be loyal regardless, and you're going to have security. There are literally hundreds of thousands of people in every part of the world walking the streets today, many of them in a state of shock because they believed that advice and they followed it only to find themselves walking the street with a resume in hand looking for a job. Their 10, 15, 25 years of dedicated service was rewarded with a small severance package and a dismissal slip. When a person believes there's security in a job and they lose their job, they feel like they've lost everything. They're totally demoralized. Security is an inside thing. If you haven't got it there, you haven't got it. I've dedicated the past 35 years of my life helping people to develop an understanding of who they are, and what they're capable of doing. My company has been hired by some of the largest companies in the world. We know what we're doing, and I can assure you, regardless of your present situation, you are capable of turning your annual income into a monthly income and living the life you may possibly only have dreamed about to this point through network marketing. Network marketing is the distribution system that's ushering in the new economy. The compensation plan that most network marketing companies have is the most moral form of compensation that has ever been devised, and it is based on the M3 strategy. Although millions of professionals today, myself included, have embraced network marketing and strongly promote it, there are millions of others who do not understand it. It's strange but true that anything the human does not understand, they have a tendency to criticize or ridicule. And we do not understand anything until we can explain it to another person so that they understand it. What image comes to your mind when you hear the term network marketing? Think about it for a moment. Now, let me ask you to think of something else. Think of President John F. Kennedy. What image comes to the screen of your mind? You very likely have an image of a man in his late 40s, a full head of dark hair, possibly holding the hand of a little boy. Please understand that image is over 40 years old, and the little boy whose hand he is holding has grown up and passed on. If President Kennedy were alive today, he'd be an elderly gentleman in his 80s, and if he had any hair, it would most certainly be gray. Frequently, when a person hears the term network marketing, a 40-year-old image comes to their mind, and they see someone sitting in their kitchen trying to sell their brother-in-law into the idea of selling soap. The truth is, this industry has grown up. It is one of the most sophisticated industries in the world, and certainly one of the most lucrative. The computer systems that these companies employ are the envy of most other industries. The successful companies are debt-free, and the people who do the work are the ones who get the money. There is no nepotism, no favoritism, and no waste. There are numerous individuals who are working 15 and 20 hours a week from home and earning more money than they've ever previously dreamed of. They have the time and the money to do the things they've always wanted to do. As I've already mentioned, I have spent 35 years developing my reputation in my industry. You can go to my webpage, www.bobproctor.com, and you will see that I carry the endorsements of many fine people. I willingly and enthusiastically put my reputation on the line to endorse and support the person who is giving you this message. And now, let me ask you that big question one more time. What would you change if your annual income suddenly became your monthly income? I can assure you, if you will open your mind and override your old paradigm, you are quite capable of making those changes. I believe I've made it clear that school has not taught us how to earn money. Another major weakness of all educational systems is that they neither teach nor encourage the habit of definite decision, which is precisely why there's so many people wandering around asking anyone who will listen, "What do you think I should do?" Napoleon Hill wrote an entire chapter on decision in his book, Think and Grow Rich. In that chapter, he said, "Those who reach decisions promptly and definitely know what they want, and they generally get it. The leaders in every walk of life decide quickly and firmly. That is the major reason why they're leaders. The world has the habit of making room for the man or woman whose words and actions show that they know where they're going. Let me suggest that you do yourself an enormous favor. The second this message ends, don't even look sideways. Don't ask anyone what they think you should do. Pick up the phone and call the person who gave you this message and say, I would like you to explain to me what I have to do to turn my annual income into a monthly income. And if they don't have the experience to explain exactly what to do, I can assure you they know someone who can, and they will be quick to introduce you to that person. Pick up the phone right now and call the person who gave you this message. If you want to change your life, you've got to change your life. Call them right now. This is Bob Proctor. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. Welcome to this special presentation. My name is Keithan Nadaraja and I'm extremely delighted to have you here today with us for this special presentation. I'm sure this program is going to change many of your lives for better, especially financial future. Okay, special welcome again. Let's get started.
Please allow me to introduce two home business legends who recently joined forces to launch what many are calling the most compelling home business opportunity of our lifetimes. Mr. Tim Sales started his home business career in 1989, near the end of an 11-year tour with the U.S. Navy Underwater Bomb Squad team. After working hard for 5 years with his home business, he created an income of over $150,000 per month with businesses in over 20 countries. Tim has lectured at the university level on the subject of entrepreneurialism and authored the #1 most viewed educational video for the direct sales industry called Brilliant Compensation. Mr. Sales was recently interviewed by the world-renowned talk show host Mr. Larry King on the merits of the home-based business industry. Tim is best known around the world for his logical, pragmatic approach to training. Mr. Sales specializes in educating someone who knows nothing and teaching them how to have business success. He retired at an early age of 33 and became a crusader and advocate for home businesses ownership all around the globe. Tim has not only made many millions of dollars as a direct result of operating a home business, but has been extremely influential in helping thousands of business owners around the world find total time and financial freedom. Joining forces with Mr. Sales is New York Times best-selling author Robert G. Allen. Mr. Allen authored or co-authored some of the most influential financial books of all time, including Creating Wealth, Nothing Down, Multiple Streams of Income, and The 1-Minute Millionaire. Combined, his 10 books have sold over 3.5 million copies and have enjoyed over 100 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. Today, there are literally thousands of millionaires and multimillionaires who attribute their success to Mr. Allen's systems and strategies. Robert is a popular television and radio guest, appearing on hundreds of radio and television programs, including Good Morning America, Regis Philbin, Neil Cavuto, and Larry King. Mr. Sales and Mr. Robert G. Allen have come together to combine their talents, experience, and leadership to create an opportunity so compelling, so revolutionary, as to transform the lives of the ordinary to extraordinary. Pay close attention for the next few minutes as you listen to a message that quite possibly could alter your entire future.
All right, I'm sitting here with two very successful businessmen, Tim Sales and Robert Allen. And what I want to know, guys, is how do I make a living in this crazy economy? I want to make between $40,000 and $100,000 a year while being able to stay at home with my son Tristan, because I don't want to have to put him in a daycare center. I know that a lot of people have to do that, and so I'm trying to figure out how I can make a good living while being able to stay at home with him.
Hello, I'm Robert Allen. Tim Sales and I would like to answer that question for Laura, and we'd like to answer it for you too as well. Now, you don't have to use Laura's number. What we're talking about here are your career choices, about how you make your living, pay your bills, provide for your family, and how you pay for the things that you want. As in Laura's case, staying at home with her child, Tristan. It can be where you dream of living, the house you dream of living in, the kind of car that gets you excited to drive, the vacation spots you dream of visiting, the charities you so badly want to help, and the legacy you want to leave to the people you love.
Hi, I'm Tim Sales. My advice to Laura and to you is to look at the options and determine how you're going to accomplish those dreams. To create big income, you have to own your own business. I think everyone already knows having a job working for someone else is a life sentence to living paycheck to paycheck. Those dreams and goals Robert mentioned soon become nothing but a fantasy. You must do something different. So allow us to go through a few options for owning your own business. There are at least 4 major options. Robert, start us off.
Sure, Tim. The first business ownership option is becoming a professional, a doctor, accountant, or an attorney. Take out a school loan, go to college, and get your credentials, and then build your own business around you. You're trading your time and your expertise for someone else's money, trading hours for dollars. So keep in mind that if you don't show up for work, you don't have a business. The second option is traditional business ownership. You have an idea, you get a loan if you can these days, you hire some employees, and you go out and learn how to make your business work through trial and error. The biggest issue here is you typically don't have any training. Anyone who knows the business is your direct competitor.
The third option is a franchise business. Examples are fast food, auto repair, cleaning services, elderly care. A franchise will cost you a franchise fee, typically $20,000 for the unknown ones and up to $1 million for the better known ones. You like fast food? Get a McDonald's if you've got $1 million, or a Subway sandwich, $100,000. You like ice cream? Get a Cold Stone franchise for $292,000. A vitamin store, $160,000. You like to clean houses? Mary Maid's is only $55,000. You pay that franchise fee because the company has proven the model and created the training for you. I've looked at various franchise companies because I have the money to pay these fees. But the reason I have never pulled the trigger is because it would trap me into one geographic location. Think about this. Any brick and mortar business is typically dependent on the public who live within a 20-minute drive of that location. Where else will you get customers from? I'm not fond of being limited geographically. Also with franchises, you still have the employee issue, and most of them are teenaged, first-time employees, which is not a good plan. The fourth option is network marketing. Here, you own your own business and have a proven model and training similar to franchising, but you don't have the very large franchise fee. Network marketing is where I've made my millions. If you think I'm going to tell you that network marketing is perfect, that's not the case because it's not. I'll tell you what the challenges are because I know them very well. Number one, finding a company that will go long term. Well, that's a problem in every type of business. Number two is finding a company that will provide real training that works. I cover this in more detail in the brilliant training video on this site, but briefly, I'm personally taking responsibility for the training, and it will be done right. That's what I'm known for throughout the whole industry. And challenge number 3 with network marketing is finding customers. Well, there's no business in the world that doesn't have that as a challenge. That's what owning your own business is all about. And challenge number 4 is finding other people who want to build their own network marketing business. Like I said, it's not perfect, but I would gladly accept this challenge over having employees, a huge franchise fee, and or being geographically locked into a single area. I'm not just talking about locked into one city either. You do not want to be stuck earning money from just one currency in today's economic crisis. Being able to have incomes coming from several different currencies is a must. Robert, jump in here and give us your experience.
I too have made millions with network marketing. Now, before I got involved, I owned a lot of different businesses, traditional types, from chocolate factories to children clothing stores to a professional basketball franchise. I even owned seminar businesses, and some of these businesses had over 200 employees. And when I compare owning a traditional business with all of its headaches and employee problems, I would never go back. For me, I'd much rather have the challenge of finding people who want to join me in building their own network marketing business than having the challenges of hiring good employees. Trying to find an employee who won't steal from you, who won't steal your ideas and clients, and then go out on their own is a challenge. Finding employees who are dependable and show up when they say they will, or who will work just as hard when you're not standing over them as when you are, is a challenge I would rather not have. And you can't even fire them these days without some big lawsuit. And like franchising, you don't get locked into a geographic territory. Your territory is the world. Like Tim said, network marketing is not perfect. But when you compare it side by side to other business ownership options, network marketing is without a doubt the best option. Low startup capital, minimal risk, it's a no-brainer, provided you find the right company with the right products, the right training, and the right compensation plan.
Robert and I have found that right network marketing company, and the name of that company is ARIIX, spelled A-R-I-I-X. Remember that name, it's going to be huge. The remaining videos on this site are explanations of why Robert and I have chosen ARIIX as the business we are going to build. We are not celebrity endorsees, we are building ARIIX. Robert and I are inviting you to be our business partners in this amazing new company. We want to work with you. You can use our experience, our leadership, and our training methods to build your own business. We're going to build what no other company has ever built. Watch the rest of the videos on this website and see why you should join us.
With all of those different business options, network marketing does seem the most logical, but I don't know much about it. A while ago, I joined a company with my girlfriend because she asked me to do it, but I have to be honest, I didn't really treat it like my own business. But now with Tristan, and my situation is so different, I really want to be able to take this and treat it like a business. So what do I need to look for when evaluating a network marketing company?
The first thing you must determine in any business is whether the company will go long term. This must be your #1 deciding factor because you personally cannot be successful in a failed company. It doesn't matter what or how much you do if the company goes out of business. I see people often make the mistake of first looking at the products or the compensation plan when they look at companies in this industry, and I want to tell you emphatically that that is a mistake. Products are the simplest things to get, and compensation plans all pay out around 50%. The really hard thing to find is a management team who consistently makes good decisions. Tim and I did the deepest forensic research a person can do. We both worked with this management team as consultants. Tim for 7 years and me for over 10 years prior to them launching ARIIX. So we both knew them on a deep personal level. We got to see how they treated their partners, family, friends, and enemies. We also got to witness their ability to get things done. Here's how Tim and I both independently determined that ARIIX would go long term. The management team who now runs ARIIX had previously, as a team, already built a $500 million publicly traded company. And get this, it was one of the most efficiently run network marketing companies on the stock exchange. Those executives simply, as a team, moved together to launch a brand new company. If you have any idea that ARIIX is a startup company, I assure you that it is not. Proven management situations like this one do not come around very often. The secret to longevity, brilliant leadership, and ARIIX has it.
Okay, so what's the product?
When building your own business, you have to choose the right products because the products are what you're going to use to build a customer base with. That's where your income comes from. Therefore, the products have to attract customers and make their lives better. In addition, those products must be consumable so you can get repeat business. Non-consumable products like cars, houses, screwdrivers, or flashlights make you unemployed until you find another customer. It's far better to sell batteries than flashlights because you can resell the batteries to the same consumer over and over. Having made many millions of dollars, I can tell you that if you want a long-lasting residual income, the best two product categories are nutrition and skincare. Why? Because not only are those used by all consumers, they're consumed on a daily basis. So those two categories you must have. ARIIX's products are very unique and fit all the criteria I've mentioned. I could go into a deep explanation about how our skincare is organic and non-toxic, or that all our nutritional ingredients come from certified non-genetically modified organisms, that our manufacturing facility is NSF and OTC certified and FDA approved, or that we get our omega fish oils from small ocean fish that typically contain less mercury and other contaminants that most companies use. I could go into many unique features, but great products is to be expected in a first-class company. ARIIX's primary focus is on products and divisions that contribute to a person's health and happiness. For a person to be truly healthy, they have to have health in all areas of their life. ARIIX calls it panoptic health, which means all things in view. I didn't just join ARIIX because it's a great financial opportunity. I joined to help people live healthier lives. ARIIX will become not only a huge business, but also a company that is going to help mankind. More important than all the fine details about their individual products is their extremely rare understanding that they are an opportunity company. This means they know their job is to always be uncovering exciting new product opportunities so that their business owners, like me and you, can use those new products to continually grow our businesses. In the area of products, this is what differentiates ARIIX from all other companies and is the opposite of the thousands of umpty-ump product companies out there who think they are a juice company or think they are a skincare or vitamin company. The problem is they didn't see themselves as an opportunity company and therefore didn't establish the company from the beginning to operate multiple product divisions. ARIIX is very strategic in how it will continually introduce new and exciting products, services, divisions, and new countries to its business owners. I'm not at liberty to discuss the details of the strategy ARIIX has because it's quite a competitive advantage. But just picture this. Let's say your passion is healthy babies. You build your business helping moms have healthy babies. I come into your business and build what I'm passionate about. Let's say healthy financial. You could earn a commission on my sales even though it's not the business you're building. I strongly recommend you position yourself right now before these divisions start rolling out. This concept is huge for people who want to earn a great amount of money while building a long-term stable business.
Okay, so how do I know that this company will grow? The last company I was with seemed to be okay, but I don't think it ever really took off.
It's not easy to figure out what causes some to grow and most not to grow, but the answer is always found in why most sports teams never win championships. They seem to have good players, the coaches seem good, they seem to practice just as much, but they are just never able to win any championships. I call it having the magic or having the mojo. Here's the quick answer. The company has to be able to attract strong, ethical network marketing leaders to the company. You see, it's the ability to attract these strong leaders alone that builds a fast-growing company. Many companies try to buy these leaders, which most often turns out badly. And since I brought this up, ARIIX did not try to buy Tim or me. How they got us was by explaining how they wanted to build a true opportunity company, a company that would revolutionize the network marketing industry. We wanted to be part of that. And the first step to revolutionizing the industry was the ARIIX Representatives Bill of Rights. You will be impressed. It's the greatest ethical shift the network marketing industry has seen since it began. What network marketing executives and owners have done to network marketing leaders and distributors and representatives is unforgivable. The three biggest issues are, number one, unjust terminations. For example, a leader bills $1 million a year income, and then the company terminates the leader for some petty item just so they can keep the leader's income. The second issue is compensation plan changes. This is where the company shows a leader the comp plan, the leader bills the company thinking she's going to receive what was presented, and then after it's built, the company dramatically changes the plan. I've seen leaders' income drop from $30,000 a month to $3,000. That's a 90% drop. And the third way network marketing companies burn leaders and representatives is when the company's owners change their mind and convert the company from a network marketing company to a retail sales company, thereby terminating all distributors. Don't think for a second these issues don't happen very often. They most certainly do. They've happened to both Tim and to me. We understand personally what that's like. And by the way, this happens in every other industry as well. It's not unique to network marketing. But the bottom line is that if a company views itself as an opportunity company, they'll take care of their leaders and representatives, and they'll listen to their suggestions. In short, they'll treat the leaders and reps who create the sales in the company the same as they treat themselves. That the owners of ARIIX have done ethically what no other company has been willing to do, they have been and will be rewarded with tremendous leadership flocking to ARIIX. Call it karma, call it blessings from heaven, call it cause and effect, call it whatever you want. What I do know is that Tim and I both feel it is truly our honor that we get to serve the owners of this company. ARIIX definitely has the mojo.
Okay guys, how do I make $40,000 to $100,000 a year while being able to stay at home with Tristan? I need to know exactly what I need to do.
All right, let's talk about how you get compensated. The first way to make money is obviously to get customers. You buy the products at wholesale and sell it to a customer at the suggested retail price. The company ships the products directly to the consumer and you earn a small profit, just like any business does. But here's where network marketing is different from traditional business. If any of your customers want to join your team and market products just like you do, they too can make money, and a small portion of each sale they make comes to you. I'd like to give you some examples of how you make money beyond just the traditional retail markup, but I hesitate because I don't want to understate anything or overstate anything, because maybe someone joins your team and does a lot, and someone else joins your team and does nothing. So please view my examples as examples and not specifics. So let me start at the core. What makes building your own business work and be very stable is when there is a product or group of products that you use and love. That's the core of any great business. For a simple math example to show you how you can make commissions in ARIIX, let's say I use $100 a month of products that I love. My first goal would be to make enough money in commissions to pay for the products I use. In ARIIX, if I find just 4 people that join my team as members and are building their own business just like I am, then I would earn just over $100 in commissions, which means my products are paid for. The same goes for you. This example model that I've just described is how a business grows from baby steps to being a multi-million-dollar business. So Laura, using that example model, let me show you how to earn $40,000 to $100,000 a year while staying home with Tristan. You get 4 and your products are free. Simple. 4 and it's free. Now, suppose you help these 4 new members each find 4 team members of their own. Their commissions would pay for their product usage, and what would that do for you? That would put an extra $250 or so in your pocket. Could you use an extra $250? Then just help your 4 find their 4. Simple. In ARIIX, they call that person a senior supervisor. You would be a senior supervisor. Want to earn more? If you'll just help 4 of your teammates become senior supervisors doing what you just did, you'll be earning about $900 a month. A person who makes about $900 a month in ARIIX is called a senior manager. To earn more, help 4 of your team members become senior managers. You're simply helping them do what you just did. This will most likely make you an officer, and you'll be earning as much as most Americans make at their full-time job, over $40,000 a year. Laura, that's at the lower end of your range. But the best part is you're staying home with Tristan, but still making good money. Laura, to get you to the higher end of your range, simply help 4 teammates become officers, and you'll be at around $150,000 a year, and you'll jump to what we call a president. Laura, that's how to earn a nice income and stay home with Tristan. Just for fun, let's take this one more step. If you'll help 4 members of your team become presidents, like you'll enter the ranks of a chairperson. You do that right, and you could be in the $500,000 a year range. I could keep going, but we'll stop here for now. And how does all of this get started? You find 4 customers so your products are free, and help a few of those get their products for free. Do that enough times, and you're wealthy beyond your wildest dreams. Laura, I described this in baby steps. They don't have to be baby steps. You find business builders like myself or Robert, and this could happen very fast.
Okay, so what kind of training is provided?
To build your own business, you have to know what to do and how to do it with a step-by-step checklist. You also have to have marketing tools that work and training on how to use those marketing tools. Traditionally, in the network marketing industry, people have tried to rely on person A training person B, who then trains person C. What we know for sure is that there is a lot of important information that gets lost between person A and C. And there is much irrelevant information that is given to a new person that distracts them from doing the business correctly. The results are people who don't know what to do. I've heard Mr. Robert Allen say, "A confused mind says no." That's interesting because I've often said that a confused mind does nothing. What's needed and ARIIX does provide is a proven system that doesn't confuse people. ARIIX has launched what's called the Business Orientation System, which has the acronym of BOSS. The boss does the training. So person A doesn't have to train person B on the basics. Everyone goes to the same source for their training. But yet, the boss doesn't limit innovation in creative marketing methods because we believe everyone has great ideas. When you join us, you'll be directed to the boss where you'll start your training. You first learn a few administrative items, then you'll be introduced to the ARIIX executives and support staff. Then you'll learn about the products, vision, industry, communication, and how to generate leads and start your marketing. Most of the training you'll need is in the BOSS that you can do on your own time when it's convenient for you. But you also have a team all around you. ARIIX's mission statement is to unleash the human potential for good. Reaching your full potential doesn't happen alone. It doesn't happen watching TV or surfing the web. It happens when you are on an elite team being pulled and helped, and when you are pulling and helping others reach their full potential. That's how you grow. ARIIX is an elite group. If you want to be in the inner circle of a fast-paced elite team that values people and educating one another, then you should join us. You're one of us. ARIIX's training stands miles above any other company.
Okay, great. So I can even do the training at home. That's awesome. Okay, I'm in. How do I get started?
Getting you started right is critical to building your ARIIX business. So I'd like to spend a couple of minutes helping you with this. The first thing is to have the right perspective on its difficulty. After Rick, the gentleman who first presented this industry to me, finished his presentation, I requested that he explain the hard parts to me. I requested this because I dislike when someone tells only the good side and then later I find the bad side. That's why I want to share both sides with you. He told me the hard part was rejection, deception, attrition, and disrespect. I asked him to explain each. He said that rejection is when you show someone the product or business and they say no. Deception is when people say yes just to make you feel good but mean no. Or when they say they'll show up and don't. Attrition is when people say they will do something and then quit. And finally, disrespect is when people don't understand you and they may give you an attitude which feels disrespectful. After he was done, I asked him if he had left anything out, and he told me no. 23 years later, I can attest that Rick told the complete truth. Now, to put this difficulty into perspective, 2 years prior to Rick presenting this to me, I was in the Persian Gulf defusing bombs on land and underwater. To me, rejection is when a bomb blows up in my face. Deception is when someone sets a booby trap for me. Attrition is when teammates die. And disrespect is when someone's shooting at me. What I find humorous is when people try to tell me how hard building their own business is. What this really tells me is what a plush life they've had. Picture this. I sit in my heated or air-conditioned home in a nice cushioned business chair that has 3 levers to adjust my sitting position just right. I have a hands-free headset connected to my phone for the comfort of not having my head tilted while I'm on the phone. I have a bottle of pure filtered water sitting on my desk, and I can get up and make myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich anytime I want. Never do I risk my life with a bomb, or a parachute not opening, or running out of air, being bit by a sea snake, or losing a leg to a shark while walking the ocean floor. The simplicity of this is, if I call someone and they reject me, I call another. If someone deceives me, I call another. If someone quits, I call another. And if someone disrespects me, I laugh and call another. Because I make millions working from home while most of those people disrespecting me are struggling to make ends meet, having to put their kids in daycare, fighting rush hour traffic, and dealing with difficult bosses, and they're disrespecting themselves when begging an employer to give them a job. I assure you, there's nothing truly hard about building ARIIX. The second perspective of building your own business I'd like to share with you is the financial risk. If you were to buy a well-known health products franchise company, it will cost you $160,000 for the franchise fee. Plus, you'll have operating costs like employees, products, and rent, which on average is about $300,000 a year. The return on that investment will make the owner about $108,000 a year profit. Those numbers were drawn from stores that had been open for approximately 14 years. The reason I share these numbers with you is because if I can get you thinking like a franchise owner, a business owner, you can make a lot of money in ARIIX. But if you think like an employee, you'll view everything as a cost or an expense. An investment is something that can potentially give you a greater return at a later time. An expense is something that doesn't gain any additional value, such as your cable TV or your golf clubs. When I started in this industry, I invested about $1,500 in products to get me started, which at the time was scary to me. But as I stated earlier, 5 years later, I retired having a $25 million worldwide business that has continued to pay me for roughly 18 years. I've not helped that business for 18 years. Wouldn't you say that was a great investment of money, effort, and time? So to put this financial investment in correct perspective, $1,500 at the time might have bought me a used motorcycle, or in today's economy, a flat screen TV or a vacation, which have no chance in building a $25 million business. To start your ARIIX business, the only real requirement is $30 to get you registered, but you have no products, and I have never seen anyone succeed in any business who themselves don't use the products. I suggest you start ARIIX with the products you plan to build your business with. But one thing is certain, whatever you spend will be substantially less than spending $160,000 for a franchise fee or the startup cost of most other kinds of businesses. If you can't afford the ARIIX products you need right now, I suggest you get creative and figure out a way. Maybe you sell the Purity water bottle, maybe you market the SlenderX fat loss system and make enough profit to get you started. But let me make something very clear. If your creative idea means you have to take out a second mortgage on your house, don't do that. If it means you have to sell your only means of transportation, don't do that either. If this means you have to sell your TV or stuff from your garage or storage unit, absolutely do that. That stuff isn't making you any money. That's not failure. Failure is not starting. If all you do is get healthier by taking the ARIIX products, you're a winner. If all you do is take the products, get 4 customers, and get your products for free, you're a winner. When I started, I sold and canceled everything that didn't have the ability to make me $10,000 a month. That may seem extreme, and it probably is. But I knew it would be temporary, and I also knew to make an extreme amount of money, I needed to do something extreme, because what had been proven was that what I was doing equaled living paycheck to paycheck barely. I also realized that if I didn't have $1,500 to start a business, after working in the Navy for 9 years, I definitely needed to do something different. Next is to put your time into perspective. Time is an interesting thing. We all have 24 hours each day. If you'll divide 24 hours into 3 separate columns, you get 8 hours in each column. The first 8 hours is for sleep. Don't mess with that one. The next 8 hours is for work. Don't touch that for now. But the remaining 8 hours you must make sacred if you're ever going to get out of the time trap. That 8 hours is your escape route. It's your exit strategy. It is your plan B. What you must do to get your dreams is to use that 8 hours building your ARIIX business so that it replaces the income you now earn from the 8 hours you spend at your job. If you get super focused, you could do that in a few months, depending on your income, of course. My main point here is you have to be efficient with that time and guard that time against all wasteful actions. It's been very interesting to me to look back at those people I showed my business to 15 to 20 years ago who told me they didn't have the time. Today, they're still in the same or worse financial and time condition. I replaced my income in 6 months, but because of my contract with the U.S. Navy, I couldn't leave. So I worked part-time for 2 years and then full-time for 3 years and then retired for the next 18 years. Follow our lead and we'll help you out of the time trap. Don't fool yourself into believing you don't have time. So let me walk you through getting started. Number 1, call the person who put you on this site. Tell them you're ready to start. Number 2, place your order to get your products and training. Number 3, start your training. Number 4, get your first 4 customers. And number 5, help those get their 4 customers. Forget building a multi-million-dollar business for now. Simply focus on getting your first 4 customers, and then your products are free. Help your 4 get their 4 customers. You're making about $250 a month. This $250 I suggest you use to advertise your business so you have customer leads. If there were truly a secret to my tremendous success in network marketing, it would be that I took all my profits and invested back into advertising my business every month. As small as those profits were in the beginning, I still found inexpensive ways to advertise my business. Then, as my profits grew, so did my advertising budget. The final perspective I'd like to share with you is fear. Most everyone who starts anything new has fear. Don't allow that fear to stop or impede you. What you should really fear is reaching retirement age and having little to nothing to live out the rest of your life on. Millions of people are turning 60, 70, 80 years old, and they earn practically nothing and have to live on pennies from the government. That's what you should really fear. Instead of having fear of starting ARIIX, focus on this very logical idea. Everything has a sequence or series of steps that you need to know how to do and then do. In ARIIX, those steps are: number 1, know how to get leads. Number 2 is know how to invite your customers to look at the ARIIX products or business. And number 3, know how to present it to them or allow a video, website, or brochure to do it. And number 4 is to know how to help your prospects get results with the products or business. That's it. And those steps are what we will immediately train you how to do. So join us. We'll walk you baby step by baby step until you can do each step and achieve your goals. It will be our honor to work with you.
Do you know what I love about network marketing? It's not just the money I earn, although that's very nice, but it's the personal growth that happens as a person goes from earning free products to whatever they choose. They become different people, more confident in all areas of their life. And I love to help people achieve that kind of freedom. And Tim and I can hardly wait to help you achieve that kind of freedom as well. Join us.